Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of e-learning. Um, Figured I'd come on screen here for this one. Try to do this a little bit more often so it feels less like a podcast. We have a little bit of interaction. So we've been talking about how employers and employees' relationships are different. We've been talking about the workplace and how um, that affects different cultures, different genders, and different values that people put on their employees. So, how they handle um, different generations and people that just have differences as a whole. So we're going to talk about how employers are responding to us and the way that we look at our jobs. They basically know that you know there are plenty of jobs out there. We would all like to have a really stable job, but at the same time, our generation is just a little bit different, and we're willing to bounce around and try different things until we find the thing that really fits us best. All right, so changing society affects individuals as well as organizations. So we know things are impacting us as individuals. Before this whole COVID 19 ordeal took place, there were still plenty of changes in our individual lives. But this is a big one, and this has had a huge impact on how employers and employees work together and figure out a way to be productive within changing times. But if we think about a normal world, we get scenarios where changes have to be made. So many social issues find their way into work settings. Now, the social issue we're going through now is a super good example and one that has made a major impact. But many other social impacts um, fall kind of trickle down into the workplace as well. Managers and employees will leave home each workday thinking about their personal problems. So this is a problem, what we're going through now is a problem that affects everyone in the same way, which is kind of unique. If you really think about it, my wife and I were having this discussion the other day. Everyone around the world is kind of feeling the same thing right now. They're all going through kind of being cooped up, not living their normal lives, having a little bit of fear as to what might happen next, which my advice to you would be, don't let that fear creep in. Stay positive. Things are going to get better. Everyone is going through the same thing at the same time. So that's very unique to the fact that we are, what you're thinking when you go to sleep at night, I'm thinking the same thing. People around the world are thinking the same thing. We're all kind of in this together, which I guess is kind of the beauty of it. But to get to not ramble on too much, everyone has their own personal things going on, and when life gets back to normal, as we call it, workers will still go to work every day having certain things in their lives that are impacting them, and employers know that, and they're starting to make changes to fit that. Responsibilities for workers are really big just at their job, but then you think about back home. Okay, what I would tell you is think about your parents. Think about a normal day, a normal work week, or school week for you. Okay, just think about how much your parents do for you on top of them going to a job all day long, then getting home, right? It's a lot of responsibility. You feel like you have a lot of responsibility, and you do. You definitely do with school and maybe a job and maybe sports. But also think about your parents and what they go through to provide for you, and all those things carry on to their job as well. Okay, when they go to work, they're thinking about you. They're thinking about you know making sure everything's taken care of at home, making sure that the car's working fine, making sure that you're fed, making sure that you get the things that you need and want. And employers should keep this in mind as well. All right. So workers come into work every day thinking about their kids, thinking about their parents, thinking about their house, thinking about their car, thinking about their responsibilities. And these concerns can, at times, impact job performance. All right, I'm sure all of you have had a teacher at some point in time that came to school, taught you just like a normal day, and they may have had a parent that was really sick, or they might be sick, or they may have a kid that's having issues in some way. They have thoughts and concerns on their minds, and there's probably times where you never even knew it. And that's kind of a true example of what I'm talking about here. All right. And since we're talking about management, we're talking about employers, they have to keep those things in mind as well. They have to know that personal lives of their employees are really important to them, and they have to kind of help to cater to that. Um, and understand these aren't just robots coming to work every day doing their job. So employers, when they find a quality employee, they really should work to the greatest extent that they can to keep that person. And we started to see um, the culture of the company take a front hold, or take kind of the spotlight in hiring, rather than how skilled are you. It's more about now, do you fit into the culture? We can teach you a skill, but do you value the same things we value? And that's something that successful companies are finding is a good way to hire someone is, do you have the same values as we have? All right, this will be our final slide for today. And it says, to attract and retain competent workers, employers have responded to social changes by taking action to improve the way that work is done, to assure a healthier and safer work condition, and to help workers deal with some personal problems. So this is a way to show kind of to make my point, is that employers are hiring and they want to value the person. And if they have a person that has the same values as them, they're probably going to get more effort from them. They're going to get a much stronger effort from them. And that's the employee that they really should be focused on. So keep that in mind when you're out there looking for a job in the future. Finding an employer whose values align with your values is very important to not only you, but also them, and you guys meshing together to make a successful partnership.